Yesterday, Vladimir Putin recognized two regions of Ukraine as independent states. And he bizarrely asserted that these regions are no longer part of Ukraine and their sovereign territory. To put it simply, Russia just announced that it is carving out a big chunk of Ukraine. Last night, Putin authorized Russian forces to deploy into these regions. Today, he asserted that these regions are actually extend deeper than the two areas he recognized, claiming large areas currently under the jurisdiction of the Ukrainian government. He's setting up a rationale to take more territory by force, in my view. And if we listened to his speech last night, and many of you did, I know, he's setting up a rationale to go much further.
He's a madman. He's literally Donald Trump with a Russian accent. I've never heard anybody that unhinged. I mean, it was really, really, really bizarre. It was really strange. And then he signed a decree, just like, Trump used to sign those executive orders, giving away Ukraine's land to Russian-backed separatists, or as I like to call them, the Confederacy. I mean, that's what that is. It was secessionists. It was the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life. All right, let me play you this clip, because this clip has maps. And this is a very good explanation. This is a retired General Spider Marks, okay? And the reason why I'm playing it is because he is showing you exactly where Donsk is and where, I can't say it, but the other one, LDP. Okay, and he's showing you that Putin's not going to stop at these little regions. He's going to go further into Ukraine, okay? And I just want you to have a lay of the land.
This is the map we've been looking at for days, with 190,000 Russian troops ringing Ukraine. There's really a new focus this morning.
Yeah, there really is. I mean, here's where Luhansk and Donetsk are. This is the Donbass region that we've been talking about. What we anticipate and what Putin has said he's going to do is he's now going to bring additional forces into this area. Now, bear in mind, they've been in there since 2014, so
right.
This could be an invasion without a shot being fired.
One of the things I've been talking about is the next few hours will really tell us a lot. This area is the area that the Russians already more or less control. The Russian-backed separatists there
Right.
already control. But they claim this entire area here. So what are you watching for?
Well, exactly. So the initial move, this is, again, as you've indicated, this is where the separatists have been for the last 7 years. This region is what Putin has said has always been historically Russian. It was taken from him, fall of the Soviet Union, et cetera, et cetera. We've got the history. The big concern I see is not only a move into this area, but also the potential for a move down to, could happen, this is the Dnieper River. I could see where he would be enthusiastic. If you look up here in this map, he would be enthusiastic about achieving this kind of a bite. And I'm not certain how the world would respond to that.
How would he do it militarily?
Well, not hard at all. Bear in mind, he has forces down here in Crimea. He's got attack helicopters. He's got fighters. He also has naval presence here, the Sea of Azov. So he has a joint and combined capability to provide support were this to be a decision in terms of an invasion. He's got the capability.
Jesus. Okay, so the feeling or the intel that is being relayed to us almost in real time, because Biden wanted to stay ahead of all of this false flag stuff, where, Putin was going to say that the separatist regions were coming under attack by the Ukrainians, which he did, and that the shelling that went on, it started at a kindergarten, which you saw, was done by Ukrainians against the Confederacy, the Russian-backed separatists in that region, in Donsk and, Luhansk. And what I tell you, now we're going to have to start learning the name of the Azov Sea and, okay. So he did do all that for the benefit of the Russian audience, right? He said that, Russia was, that the Russian-backed separatists in that region had come under fire by the Ukrainians, but that was a false flag. And that was the reason why they told you ahead of time that he was going to say this, because they had intelligence that he was going to say this. And then he did do it. He attacked a kindergarten, shelled a kindergarten. There was no kids in there, obviously, but he did it, and then blew up a car, and then blamed it on Ukrainians. Now, because we had the intel that told us he was going to do these things, we were able to tell you and the rest of the world that that was the plan. And when he executed that plan, we were like, oh, damn, I guess our intel is good. And that was done by design to let us know that the intelligence that we're hearing, which is a complete different story than the intelligence we heard about Iraq, right? That the intelligence that we were hearing was actually true because it was told to us that Putin was going to do it, then he did it, and then we could say, see, our intelligence was true and accurate. So now the intelligence is saying that Putin is going to go further than just these little regions in the Donbass region. The Donbass region is, if you think of it as, the southern portion of the United States, that's kind of the southern portion of Ukraine, the Donbass region. Crimea is all the way in the south. If you thought about the map as being the United States, Mexico, okay, Crimea would be where Mexico is in your mind, and Donbass would be kind of where Florida is in your mind if you pictured the United States. That's how it relates to Ukraine's homeland, okay? And so he has Crimea. He took Crimea in 2014, as we all know. And in 2014, he also started this backing of the Confederacy, basically, in Ukraine. People that, spoke Russian, that wanted to wave the Russian flag, that didn't want to be Ukrainian. And it's a tiny population in an entire region called the Donbass region. It's just two little places. Well, it looks like, he's in these two little places, and he is saying that I was always, this is the craziness of Mad Men. He's saying now, I was always in these two places. I have been supporting the Confederacy in these two places since 2014. And you didn't stop me. Donald Trump didn't have a problem with it. Nobody had a problem with it. So now I'm rolling tanks in this region where I've been anyway. And so how dare you say this is an invasion? Do you see the ridiculous logic where he's literally shipping tanks and missiles and all kinds of offensive equipment into these places, saying, but I was always in there. So it's not like, an invasion. I mean, I didn't shoot anybody. I don't have to shoot anybody. So it's not really, but it is because this is not Russian land. This is Ukrainian land with Confederates living there who have killed, by the way, 14,000 Ukrainians. Well, I won't attribute a number to the dead Ukrainians. I will just say that 14,000 are dead as a result of the fighting there between Ukrainians and people who are Ukrainian but would rather be with Russia, that want to secede. It's basically a tiny little civil war in a tiny little portion of Ukraine.
Clear.
Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.